What's up, everybody? It's Izzy, and in this video I want to talk about why I'm not a fan of competitors picking specific numbers for goals that they want to do at their next meet. Now, this really doesn't apply to somebody who doesn't compete. They lift in the gym and they go for, milestone lifts whenever they feel like it. In that case, I think, milestone lifts are really just fine. But in the case of a competitor, I'm going to give you a couple reasons why I don't think this is a good idea. The first one is entirely practical, and that is it is going to encourage you to make bad attempt selection. So if you say, for example, that you want to squat 600 pounds, just as an example. So you want to squat 600 pounds or about 270 kilos at the next meet. And then you build all your attempts around getting 600 pounds on your third squat. You're putting yourself in a situation where you could vastly overshoot your ability on the day or vastly undershoot your ability. So let's say, for example, that based on your second attempt, you can do 595 pounds or 267.5 kilos. Or it's more like 270. But anyway, let's say you could do 2.5 kilos less or 5 pounds less than this magic round number goal that you picked for yourself. But you're just going to go ahead and do the round magic number anyway. Well, assuming that your second attempt was something like, say, 94 to 96%, and your third attempt was supposed to be your 100%, you're leaving anywhere from 4 to 6, so let's say 5% off of your total. 5%. Powerlifting is the sport of the total. You represent your country at Worlds if you win Nationals, and the winner of Nationals is not decided by whoever has the nicest, most round numbers on the big three. It's decided by the person with the highest total, okay? And if you're giving it a 4 or 5% because you've got yourself fixated on a specific number, you're going to have no chance to have the highest total in a competitive environment. Further, you're just not going to be able to put together the best total possible. And of course, this could work the other way too. Let's say you're intimidated by a specific round number, but you're capable of doing way more than that. So let's say you decided on that 600-pound squat, that 270-kilo squat, but you're really capable of more like 620 pounds or something like a 280-kilo squat, but you've never done 600 before, so you just decide on 600 as your third attempt before the meet, no matter what. Well, again, now you're shortchanging yourself. You're leaving these percentage points off of your total that you're just not going to be able to make back, especially in a competitive environment where there's people who are actually close to your lifting ability. So here's the thing. Meet to meet, the most important PR that you can make is a total PR. Powerlifting is about the total. Your ranking as a lifter is decided by your total. The overall medal is given to the person in the weight class with the best total. Powerlifting is the total. So your strategy at a meet, and this could be a completely separate video, so I'm not going to get into it too much, should be to maximize what you can get on each particular lift. And I know that psychologically, a 200-kilo squat, for example, or a 4-plate squat is psychologically more valuable than a 197.5-kilo squat or a 400-pound squat for the Americans, right? But it's in powerlifting, in terms of the total, it's still just 2.5 kilos. Okay, so the difference between 197.5 and 200, or 400 pounds to 405 pounds, is still just 5 pounds. And I know personally, maybe it would feel like it's worth more than that, but you can always go for those nice round milestones in the gym. At a meet, the number one goal is to secure the best possible lift on all 3 lifts to get the best possible total. And when you fixate on certain numbers, you really decrease your chances of making that happen. Now, the second reason that I'm going to talk about is more philosophical, okay? It's more theoretical, and you could argue this, and if you have a different opinion, I totally am okay with that. I'm not saying this is 100% correct. But here's the thing, and I see this all the time in the real world. Let's say that you have a novice lifter who decides that they want to go from a 365 squat to a 405 squat. So that's a 3.5 plate squat to a 4 plate squat. They might actually be able to do that in one meet because they're a novice. So let's say that this person, misses some training sessions. They half-ass a few training sessions. They're a novice. They don't say they don't have the best programming, they don't necessarily follow their macros, yet they don't have the discipline and the tenacity and the work ethic of a more advanced lifter. However, they still end up hitting their goal. In the goal setting world, this is a success because they hit the little thing that they wrote on the paper that said, I wanted a 4-plate squat and I got it. Now let's consider, on the other hand, an advanced competitor, a super advanced competitor who's been doing this for 10 years. And they say, I want to add 20 kilos to my squat, which is just an absurd amount to add to your squat in one training cycle from meet to meet. I'm not saying it's impossible, but if you're a truly advanced lifter, it's probably extremely unlikely that you'd even do that in a full year of training, let alone from meet to meet. Now let's say this advanced lifter does everything perfectly. They never fail to count a single one of their macros. They have programming that has been optimized for them over the last 10 years. Their technique is impeccable. They review every set. They have a coach help them adjust their technique all the time. They're religious about their sleep schedule. They get 9 to 10 hours of sleep. And in every way possible, they've maximized the inputs that could give them the best possible output. But then at the meet, this super advanced powerlifter only sets a 17.5 kilo PR. Well, they've failed. That's a failure because they didn't reach the little goal on the paper. And what I'm getting at here is that you should be more concerned with maximizing the quality of the inputs that you put into the system rather than focusing on which output that it spits out. Because just because you got the output that you wanted, that doesn't mean that you got the best results possible. And just because you didn't get the output that you wanted doesn't mean that you didn't get the best results possible. If you maximize the inputs of the system, and I'm talking about sleep, nutrition, programming, technique, psychology, and there's others, of course. If you maximize those variables and you control the inputs to the best of your ability, you're going to get the best possible results that your body at that particular time is capable of. It wouldn't have been any better if you had decided on a specific number beforehand and written that number down on a piece of paper or on your computer or wherever else. That's why I encourage lifters to not focus on outcome-oriented goals, but instead focus on process-oriented goals. Set goals like, I'm going to hit my macros within 5% every single day of this training cycle. That is something that's 100% in your control. There's not like saying, I want to squat 405 when you don't know how well the training cycle will go. Okay? But saying, I will not miss a single training session, that is an input goal, a process-oriented goal that you can absolutely control. Saying, I'm going to film every single work set and review it for technical errors after the set is a process-oriented goal that you can control. Saying, I want to be 6'6" when I grow up is not something that you can control. And saying that I want to squat, bench, or deadlift this specific number is usually getting you to focus on the wrong things. So instead, what I would encourage you to do is set input goals, set process-oriented goals, maximize those inputs, streamline your process, improve the process as much as you can, and in the end, that is what's going to get you the best possible results anyway. It's not a success if you put in a 50% effort and still get the number that you want. And it's not a failure if you put in 100% effort but don't quite get the little round milestone number that you were shooting for. Success is defined by getting the best results possible given your circumstances and situation. And the only way to do that is to maximize inputs. So again, to sum it up, I would not encourage you to set specific number goals if you are a competitor. Instead, focus on what you can truly 100% control, and that is, of course, inputs. Focus on your sleep, your nutrition, showing up, doing the program exactly as written, not skipping sessions, not skipping accessory movements that you don't like, and working on your technique as hard as you can. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed that video. As always, my friends, good luck with training and have a nice day. Peace.